Hi, it's David here with Futures Trading. Now I'm going to show you the chart scale method for those that swing trade. I know I do a lot of intraday stuff, but I want to show you if you want to be a swing trader, how to use the chart scale. It's a universal approach to support and resistance. I have you know that. Now, of course, I'm all about the universal trend as well as the price action method. Well, I don't just stop there. There's other universal approaches that I use, and the chart scale is one of them. And so I want to make sure that you're aware of this method because I'm the pioneer of it. Now, no matter the copiers out here, I want to let you know if you start seeing this pop up, it started here and you need to know exactly how to use it. And it's a very simple approach. And I'm gonna show it to you from a swing trade perspective. So here's the 930. I did that this morning and I'll let you take a look at where we started. And then of course here last week I told you where the ES was going to end up as well as the trend on the daily. I'm gonna show you that information before we dive into that weekly. 7 days ago, I told you last week that it should take about a week for them to get here. All right. So here's the ES. And of course, they're at that price level. And I told you that when they were over here. All right. So they're here. And I told you that they would get here. So they made it. Now, I'm not going to cover this anymore. All right. So that's the ES. They made it there. All right. And they should move lower. Now, this morning, when I shot that video this morning, I see you guys have taken a look at it. When I shot the video this morning on TikTok, you only got it to right about here, but on YouTube, you were able to get the rest of it. And of course, there's that trend distance. Now, that's on the 1 minute. Now, here's the hourly. Okay, so here's the hourly of that information, and they was pushing up here. Okay, on that bar, they was pushing up this morning, and that's the 10 o'clock bar, and you can tell that we were beneath the center of the scale. And this is the lower, well, roughly right the bottom of that range is what I told you this morning. The bottom of the range is the lower portion of the scale. And I told you, should they get under the range, they may continue down. Now, I left the zones here because I moved them on the daily because I want you to see what took place on the daily. So now I'm gonna sit them side by side for just a second here. And so today you got your push down. All right. Now I told you if they got under that range, that they will probably go ahead and decline, as well as the ES. I told you that as well. So you got that drop. Now here I flipped the zones, and they were green from this morning, but I flipped them upside down so we can discuss it. All right. So now here's the daily, and then we're gonna dive right into that weekly. I told you that there's a trend. I even told you they would get through the buy zones. I told you that. Okay. So I don't do a whole lot of looking left when it comes to when trends are set. When trends are set, I believe in that's the trend. You need to stay with what they're doing. Now it's not to say that they can't go up. By no means. I said in this video this morning that they need to go ahead and just go up if they're going to do it, because you don't want them to keep coming down. Definitely not with the behavior that they exuded today. So yesterday we got up here. Now the static goes from 250 up to 350. All right. You just flip them upside down. And of course, here's your reaction back down. Now, here's the trend distance. And I'm going to come back and cover this once they get here. Now, I told you they'll blow that zone. I did tell you that. And they did. So now here's the trend distance. I expect them to get here. Now, I did throw you the statics here at 950 down to the 850, 850 down to the 750. I gave you that. But that's the trend distance. And I don't trade against trends. Try to go with these guys. Now, let me show it to you on the weekly. I loaded about it's a lot of days here, almost 8,000 days for you. So you can kind of get an eye as to what this is. So 2,500 down to 1,500. And I didn't want to go that far. So, but I did put the zones there. Now, I only put them based on the bullish side of it. I only did that because they're up, but I want you to know as it moves up, I did try to give you an example here. I just didn't do it all the way up. But if they're going up, say they came out of the 25, well, came out of the 15 going up to the 25, you would go 25 up to 3,500. So 3,500. All right. So, and that's that red line, but they didn't turn, they blew through it. So here's, as you see, all right, now here's the thing before I get started. I want you to keep eye on it. You might have to pause the video and go back, but here's the center of the scale. So if you're a swing trader, this is how you would play these markets. So here's the center of the channel. Don't worry about this just yet. We'll get there. Here's the center of the scale. Here's the upper part of the scale if they tried to go down. I tried to mark where the upper part is at. So they tried to push down, but then they turned right back around and took off. Now, of course, they're headed up, towards the 5,500. All right. So they headed up to the 5,500 and it goes up to the 6,500. That's where the stop would be at. All right. So now when they tried to pull down, okay, every time they try to pull down, here's the upper half, which is roughly the zone, the upper half, and they take back off. Real simple stuff. No trend lines needed, no none of that. All right. So here we go. They're going up. Okay. They're near the 55. Okay. So there's the 5,400. Now, every time they try to turn, I want you to pay attention to that. There's the upper half of the scale right here. All right. So just try to draw something there for you to let you know, hey, from the center of the chart, here we go, from the center of the chart. Let me get down to it. Center of the chart. Here's the upper half. Just trying to give you an idea of when they cycle back. That's the upper part of the chart. Now, when they cycle back over, I tried to mark where the upper half of the chart is at. All right, so there's the upper half of the chart. You can see your center right here. All right, so small reaction there, not a problem. All right, now they're taking back off. Keep in mind the statics, but this is all about the scale. So when they turn after making that break of the high, there's the upper part of the chart. They wanted to go just a little bit past it, and then they turned around and went back up. Now, they leaned over, of course, back near near that area, but then took off through the high. Now, of course, they're at the 5,500. Okay, they try to lean over a little bit. There's the upper half of the chart, but then they take off again. Now, 6,500 is the key to get past that, and they did. All right, so now here's the upper part of the chart because you see a little bit of red, and they take off again. Now, here's where they're running. All right, so they're gone, and they're giving you some more red in just a second, I believe. All right, here we go. So now 8,500 is the key. Now they turn around. Here's the upper part of the chart. Okay, and they take off again. Here's the upper part of the chart. All right, still there. And then they rip again. So 8,500 is the key. All right, so they get near 84. All right, so here they come. Here's the upper part of the chart. They pause for a bit. All right, but then they started to move down and they went towards the center of the chart, back near the upper part of the chart, and they're going for another push up to the 8,500. Okay, lean back over upper part of the chart. There's your 80. Well, they got to 85 and then they turned a bit because remember you're going 85 to 95 at this point. All right, so then they come down towards the upper part of the chart, take off again. Now they're headed towards the 95. So 95 is there. And so you will go 95 to 10.5. Well, 10.5. And so here we go. So now we're going up. There's the upper part of the chart. Remember, when they rotate over, here's the center. They're coming off the center. They're headed up again. So there's the 10.5. And so here's they're pushing through the 10.5 to get to the 15. So the 11.5. So 11.5 up to 12.5. Okay, so there's your 12.5. They went through 12.5. So now here's the thing. From 12.5 is 13.5. All right, so now 13.5, here it comes. Upper part of the chart. Now, if they go outside of 13.5, they can go to 15. All right, so here we go. Let's head up to near the 15. Where they got 14.5. They didn't quite get there yet. Here's 15. It's coming. All right, so they went up to 15.5. There it is. Now it's 16.5. Now here's where it gets tricky. There's the upper part of the chart because they tried to lean over and they went through that as well. Now here's where we're at currently, I believe. So they're coming off the high. Here's the upper part of the scale. Upper part of the scale here, they pause, they push down a bit more, push back up, and then of course they drop down a bit more to the center. Now here it is. Here it is. They made it to the center of the chart. They're essentially taking. Well, I thought they was going to head back up there, but back near the upper part of the scale, they come back into the center, just slightly beneath it. Now, here's where it gets interesting. This is us going back up towards this high. Now, this is where we're at. I thought it was on that last push, but this is where we're at. All right, so this is where we're at currently. Now, here's the upper part of the scale, and here's the lower part of the scale. We're back inside of that 55. So that 5,500. So that 15.5, we're back there. We're back there. I don't suspect that this market is going to stay down. I think we'll go through this. I do. Um, Now, where are we going? We can end up at 8.5, 18.5, somewhere in there. We can absolutely end up there. I'm not going to cover this anymore. I'm not. I just want you to see it from a swing trade perspective. We can wind up at the 18.5. Okay, 18.5 up to 19.5 is how you'll look at it. Same thing I just did combing through all this information. This is for you swing traders that want to swing trade these markets. When you have a trend on your daily, all right, so when you have a trend on your daily, try to go with that trend. Try to go with that trend and then combine the information. So when they come into this upper part of the scale, okay, when they come into the upper part of the scale, let's see what kind of rotation we'll get. Let's see. Now, again, this is the 14,950 here. They may can get down to the trend distance, which is that 14.5. Okay, so you got the 14.5 here, 14.5 here. That's the upper part of the scale. Been doing this for years. I've been doing this for years, and I'm a professional at what I do. All right, just want to let you know that it's a particular set of skills I have here. Okay. And that's the thing about being a professional. It's not about being some billionaire. It's not about that. It's about having skill. You got to have skill to be a trader. And that's really important. So if you want to navigate these markets, whether it's intraday, whether it's swing trading, you will want to make sure that you're aware of some universal information. It's not about indicators. And I have indicators. I use some of them, but I don't need them. And so I want to make sure that you can see, even as a swing trader, you can use what they give you. Use the chart, use the information that they've provided to you, and do the best that you can with what it is that they suggest. So if you have a trend here, try not to just, ignore what's happening. Don't do that. Go with them. Go with them. Let them prove to you what's possible, and then from there, your trading should work. So this is how you use the universal chart scale method during the swing trading. All right. So I wish you all the best with your trading. Take care.